Reviews are coming in for the new Wonka movie, and you know I had to talk about it because I saw the trailer, and of course, they had a fat suit in the film. I'm not going to show a picture of it because I don't need that in my life, but Keegan-Michael Key wears a fat suit in the film. And of the reviews that I have read so far, it seems to be the worst part of the film, because of course it is. Keegan-Michael Key is a phenomenal comedian and actor, and wearing a fat suit to do fat jokes is frankly beneath him. I don't know what his contract said, I don't know what he agreed to, I don't know if it was his choice, but it saddens me a little bit that he agreed to wear the damn thing at all. Do you think, though, that this movie is finally going to be the movie where we realize as a culture that, number one, fat suits are completely unnecessary. We never need to use another fat suit ever again. And number two, they're just not funny. Do you think we'll actually reach that point with this movie? Or it's going to be like another dozen or two before we actually get to the point where we take all the fat suits and we just throw them on a fire? Because I want to be there. I would like to be there now. Thank you.
If you just spend all this energy into losing weight.
I wouldn't say fat suits are completely unnecessary. I mean, a single character can go from fat to skinny or vice versa within the span of a movie.
Nothing about the fat suit in Endgame was necessary.
Why does he need to be fat? Do they not know how to show depression without one? It was entirely for the jokes.
Obesity is preventable.
So this is a very interesting comment left on one of my videos where I showed 5 examples of where I was thin, but I definitely was not healthy. But thanks to mass media, social media, BMI, insurance companies, irresponsible fitness influencers, we are always sold this idea that somebody in a larger body is unhealthy. Even though you really can't judge one's health by the size of their body. But thanks to thin privilege, we automatically think that somebody in a larger body is unhealthy, and that's fat phobic and not true.
You cannot judge, but you can have somewhat of an accurate guess. And why would someone preach fat acceptance, especially if they are not fat, never have been?
Fat doesn't mean unhealthy, it means higher risk.
Grendel, I've got some weight to me, but I bet I can deadlift and lift more weight than you.
The estimated annual medical cost of obesity in the United States was nearly $173 billion in 2019.
Oh, how many do I have to do? How many do you have to fucking do? Why do you have to ask such a stupid question? As many as it's gonna take to transform that fat ass you're fucking carrying around.
Let's talk about body size diversity in the Barbie movie. The entire movie, I was like so emotional the second Sharon Rooney came on screen. Because how incredible is it as a little kid to see somebody who looks like you on TV when you usually never ever ever do, especially coming from a brand that is so famously cookie cutter about bodies. As a fat kid growing up in the 2000s, pretty much all my Barbies looked like this. And one of the first things I ever heard about Barbie as a brand was that Barbie promoted unrealistic beauty standards. People around me, my parents, my friends said all the time that Barbie's proportions were not physically possible unless you had surgery. And I remember that being like the first thing I ever learned about Barbie. Like, I knew from day one that I was not a part of this brand. It was not for me. It was not for people who looked like me. And so to see somebody who literally looks like me in this movie just blew me away. I knew it was coming, but it still blew me away. Sharon Rooney's character was Lawyer Barbie. Her size was never made into a thing. Although they do make this curvy version of Barbie that's basically slim thick, and they call it Barbie Fashionista, she wasn't Barbie Fashionista. She was just part of the universe. She had a job. And her body type is also not this. Now, I do have some questions about or criticisms of how size was portrayed in the Barbie movie, which I will discuss in another video. But for now, I just wanted to take a second to say how much this little girl needed to see somebody who looked like her on screen as part of the group, as one of the cool girls, and never got to, but I got to. And a lot of other little girls who look like me are getting to, and that's really freaking amazing.
How and why would someone notice something like this in a movie?
Seriously, I was on the verge of tears every time she was on screen.
Okay, but why did they dress her so conservatively in comparison to all the other Barbies?
Washington, D.C., has the lowest rate of obesity, at just 24.7%. This is followed by Hawaii and Colorado at 25% and 25.1%, respectively.
You are what you repeatedly do every day. So whatever you're doing is what you become. If excellence is something you're striving for, then it's not an accident, it's a habit.
Whether in the past, the present, or even an alternate universe, it was always clear that Monica and Chandler were...
Respectfully, no. I was very saddened to hear of Matthew Perry's passing, and this has nothing to do with that. But this is not the take on Monica and Chandler's relationship and how it evolved from the past to present to future of friends. Let us remember that when Monica and Chandler meet in high school and Monica's fat, Chandler is like absolutely disgusted by her and is talking to Ross about how much he thinks she's gross. Monica then loses all this weight to spite him, knowing he'll want to get with her the next year when he sees that she's skinny now. And so she literally does that to spite him. We know from the beginning that Chandler's love and interest and attraction to Monica is all conditional on her body size. And so unless we live in this fantasy friends universe where nobody ever gains weight back and it's easy to lose and keep off forever, their relationship is going to be conditional on her staying skinny. And I'm sorry, but like, that's not true love. That's not meant to be. She was meant to be the whole time when he was insulting her. And by the way, when she got skinny, he didn't stop insulting the fat version of her. He was always making jokes about it in all the episodes where they showed like home videos from when Monica was fat. Chandler and all the friends would make fun of Monica, while Monica obviously had a lot of compassion for her younger self and was obviously saddened by it. I don't necessarily think that like Chandler and Monica's relationship is never good or never healthy, because it is very sweet in the later seasons if you take it out of context of how they met. But to specifically say like the past of him insulting her was incredibly romantic and was bringing them together, absolutely not. And yes, in the alternate universe episode, she does lose her virginity to him at 30 because, as we all know, fat people never have sex in their 20s. Because how would we even find someone unless they were meant to be? I mean, I guess it's great that he could see past her body in the alternate universe episode, but that doesn't erase the fact that the past happened or that he didn't apologize for it. When Chandler finally acknowledges what he's done to Monica, because of course he didn't remember how he treated an inconsequential fat person. His exact words are, "I can't believe I called you fat, but come on, I was an idiot back then." Not an apology. Does not make it right. All this to say, I don't know that we should hold up Chandler and Monica's relationship as past, present, and future goals. Because when your first meeting with somebody is that they were making fun of your body and they did not look at you romantically until your body changed, I'm sorry, but that is a bad foundation for a relationship.
And Monica is fat-phobic for losing the weight, and the whole show is fat-phobic because of it, and all Friends fans are fat-phobic.
Where is your conscience? To literally go after someone who passed away because of his character's personal arch? Like, way to make everything about you. Motivation is a great thing to change your life. Also, it's a sitcom, get a life.
It's estimated that a little over 42% of American adults have obesity, while about 30.7% are overweight. Overall, more than 2/3 of U.S. adults in the United States are overweight or have obesity.
Oh my god, thank you so much for realizing that I, in fact, do live in my own world, and that means that you can leave and get the fuck out and never come back again. Goodbye! You're so smart.
What world is that? Eating foods high in refined starch and sugar can raise your insulin, which can make you hungrier, causing you to eat more.
Differential is somebody just breathing life, and the other one taking the most of the opportunity and time of life.
I need to sit down. You guys, I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie.
Too much health is exhausting. Overweight and obesity together make up one of the leading preventable causes of death in the U.S.
Why do you keep eating when you know it's not in your best interests? Why can other people do it? Why can't I do it, right? I'll tell you why. Because your story is different. But you want the honest truth behind that again? It just doesn't matter. It's a legitimate fucking reason for you to struggle. Of course it is, but it doesn't matter. All it does is repeatedly justify to yourself why you're not enough, instead of allowing you to find the reasons why you are.
Or simply willpower? Too little sleep may contribute to weight gain. People who sleep fewer than 5 hours a night are more likely to become obese than people who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night.
The more shit you throw against the wall, something will eventually stick.